so much. Global education is at risk. How many of you have traveled to different locations? Great, almost everybody. Most students define global education as the experience of traveling abroad and immersing themselves into different cultures. I'm here to tell you today that you should question that definition. I'll formulate my own definition throughout this presentation with my personal experiences, and also I'm going to take you guys to sort of be aware that you can use your global education to empower youth. So to date back to my education, when it first started, I was 3 years old. I was living in the capital city of Brazil, in Brasilia. And you can see in the image with my twin brother. I had this dream, and I shared this dream with everyone, especially my family, everyone I met. And I'd say I wanted to take over the world and encounter, people from different cultures and meet new people. My mom tried to fulfill that goal, so she put me and my brother in the American School of Brasilia, which in its own right was a school that promoted global education. You see, the school had around 60 different nationalities. My best friend was American. I had friends that came from Europe, Asia, Africa, different continents around the globe. And every day I'd go to school, I'd meet someone new, and I'd sort of learn something different about a different culture, about a different person coming from that culture. Standing here today, I can say that's probably the experience that prepared me the most to have this global education. We're all here today studying abroad, so to say, and trying to conquer this definition of what global education is. We're all trying to get a sense of global education. Over the 13 years I was in school, I saw myself as, trying to get that global education, but I wanted to limit myself into one location, in Brazil. I wanted to pursue my education in Brazil and sort of start working as a lawyer in Brazil at the time. That perception changed. When I was in my final year of school, I decided to apply elsewhere. At the time, I thought that global education was about going to different places and learning more about different places. The first thing I want you guys to take away from this talk is that I was wrong. Global education is about opening your mind and learning about different cultures, irrespective of location. When I applied to NYU, I got into NYU Abu Dhabi with a full scholarship, both me and my brother. I got lots of comments, and a lot of friends and family came up to say congratulations. I was very proud of myself and my achievements, and I was honored to have received a place at such a highly regarded university. But what was most cool about that experience was when I received an email one day from a local magazine that wanted to interview both me and my brother about why it was that we wanted to pursue an education outside of the country. Why was it that we had such a great education in Brazil? We have a great education system in Brazil. Why would I want to go elsewhere, right? And at the time, little did I know, but I told them, look, Brazil doesn't have the infrastructure for this global mindset. I want to be a global citizen. I want to pursue global education. And that's why I decided to go to Abu Dhabi, right? Over the summer, though, I thought a lot about this question. I thought about, leaving my own bubble, my sheltered bubble in Brazil. I've lived there for 17 years, and I was about to explore the world, my dream, right? But I was very worried. So what happened was I decided to take a gap year. I went against all my family. They were like, no, you should go to university with your brother. This is what you wanted, It's a great opportunity. I told them, no, I want to take a gap year. And I decided to go to Australia to visit my sister. When I went to Australia, Australia was probably the location where I learned the most in global education. Going back to the idea of exploring the world. Most people take gap years to travel around, to visit different places. But the place I learned the most about global education was in a single location. That was in Australia, and I'll tell you why. The first thing I encountered in Australia was my passion for politics. I was there for the first day, and I'd already heard about all the political campaigns that were happening at the end of 2013. The federal campaigns were happening, and my sister was very heavily involved in politics. So she invited me to help her out campaigning for different political members within the Liberal Party in Australia, and I told her, yeah, let me help you out with it. So I was there for the first day. I remember going straight from the airport, taking a shower home, and then going out in the streets of Sydney and campaigning for people that I didn't even know, right? That experience was probably the best experience, and probably the reason why I'm studying politics this day at NYU. From that experience, I met a lot of people, and I started working in different organizations. I worked in political entities, most specifically in political consulting firms. The first day at the office that I went, I recall going in and seeing a diverse populace of different people working. For those that don't know, Australia is known for being such a multicultural country. And so I go into the office and I see people from all different ethnicities, right? And part of me was very worried, a fresh graduate from high school, not even from university, trying to get a full-time job in a country that I don't really know very well, in an environment that I don't know very well either, right? So I was very lucky. When my boss came to say hi to me, he showed me to my desk, and right in front of me was this woman from a Middle Eastern origin, similar to mine, since I'm Lebanese. And I was very happy, exchanged some words in Arabic with her. I felt at home, I felt quite comfortable. But when I thought about it, I really think that what prepared me most for that moment, and meeting those people from so many different backgrounds, was the experience I had in Brazil, at that small school that I went to with so many different nationalities. So there we go, we're talking about global education, right? We sort of have this idea, we pursue different global educations in different places. We think about students traveling the world, exploring different places. We're all here in London. I'm sure all of us have been to different locations during our spring break, during different weekends. But what about the people that cannot relocate to different locations? How can they pursue global education in their own right? I had a talk with my sister the last day before deciding going back to Abu Dhabi. I was having dinner with her before going to the airport, actually. And she goes to me when we were ordering our meals, and she says, "Wow, you've changed." And at the time, I was just like, what do you mean? And I thought she was joking. What are you talking about? Like change in terms of like what I'm ordering? Do I have like something different? What are you talking about? And she says, "No, it's been a year since you've been here in Sydney, and you seem like another person." And I thought about it a lot while during my trip to Abu Dhabi, over the 15-hour flight I had. And I've come to realize that that experience I had was an experience of rites of passage, of independence, of maturity. And it all came about from that sense of global education that I was pursuing as a kid and as a teenager in high school, right? To go on, last but not least, I did a TED Talk in Abu Dhabi during my time there. And this TED Talk was about empowering the youth to bring action and to cause positive and social change. I talked about my experience in Brazil with the amount of corruption there is, and a bit of my solidarity work that I did by volunteering at the Lebanese Red Cross in Lebanon. Through this talk, I sort of brought up so many issues, and I was trying to motivate the youth around me to be empowered and cause social change. And after this talk, I got hundreds of emails or messages or phone calls from people that, both life coaches and students, and just friends and family, that were asking me, what's the recipe for you to empower people to do this? Like, what can I do in order to be able to do something like this? It's very easy to say, but it's very hard to put it in action, right? And I completely agree, it is. Over my time here abroad in London and over the year, I've come to realize that the best way for students like us to equip ourselves in order to cause positive change in the world is to invest in global education. There's so many issues that happen around us. We're talking about in education. Take education, for instance. There's so many people that are illiterate around the globe. To this day, we have around 20% of the global population that is still illiterate. But that's only one issue, right? We have so many issues. You guys can come from respective fields, the arts, sciences, so many things that we can do as students. And fortunately, we're very privileged to have the education that we have. The education is not limited, again, to the travels that you make, to the books that we read, but it's also about the social interactions we have with the general populace around us. So what I want you guys to take with you today from this brief talk is, irrespective of the location you're in, irrespective of the things you do in life, try to get one small thing, and try to use your education, the global education that you've had so far, to cause a positive change. And use your friends, unite with your friends to empower each other to cause positive change in the world. Young leaders are the ones that inspire change in the future. So as global citizens, as global students, we all have in our own right to sort of try and find a way to better our future. Thank you so much.